Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Elliot, and now it's time for today's Oracle Reveal. So earlier today I put up a post with 3 different animals, and I asked you which animal and which set of cards resonated best with you. And so here we go. Our first animal that we had was the Hummingbird. So for those of you who picked the Hummingbird, our first card is going to be where it's best to place your focus at this time. And that card is the 9 of Wands. Whenever we see the 9 of Wands, we see this guy who's bumped and bruised by life. He's had to go through the lessons of hard knocks and just kind of push forward. And whenever this card comes up, it's indicating that you've had to be strong. And it's best to place your focus on being diligent, but also you can see that this man has gained these 9 wands through all of his trials and tribulations. And with the wands, he's built a fence behind him. This, for me, symbolizes boundaries. And so it's best to place your focus at this time on your boundaries, and also sometimes just telling people no when your heart is telling you to do that. Whenever we see the 9 of Wands, it indicates that you can go the distance. And it may not always be easy. There might be some struggle involved here, but it says if you are disciplined and focused, you will reach your goal. Always with this card, it says to stand up for yourself and stand up for your rights, and also to stand up to other people who are trying to infringe on your boundaries, or who are trying to just basically make your environment not feel as whole as you've been working to create it to be. So 9 of Wands just says stand up for yourself. The next card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom, and this card is the 6 of Cups. And whenever we look at the 6 of Cups, it's telling you to look back at the past. The past is going to reveal the secret to you about what's going to make you happy in the future. And whenever I see the 6 of Cups, it tells me that whatever was able to make you happy before, or if you can remember a time that you were more joyful, or when you can remember a time you felt the most powerful, that person is still you. And so this might be a period where you have to really realign with that old archetype, that part of yourself that might be in the background at this time. And when I couple that with the 9 of Wands, it could indicate that at this time you have to stand up for yourself. You do have to push and go forward and be really bold and strong and keep your boundaries up. But you also have to remember why you're doing what you're doing. You have to remember your joy for it. So the 6 of Cups is telling you to look back, look to the past for evidence for why you can succeed at this, and also for why you love this in the first place. And our final card is a mythic archetype that's going to be helpful for you to embody over this next week. And that is Chiron, or Chiron. And this is the centaur in Greek mythology. He's the healer. And whenever we see him, he's telling you that there's some intense healing that's going to be going on for you, but especially healing through knowledge. His glyph in astrology is a key, and so whenever we see him, it's indicating it's time to unlock the healing potential within you by delving into whatever it is that your wisdom really gravitates toward. This is also just a card of healing old wounds to yourself, to either your heart or to just your path on this way. And this is also a card of immortality. So it indicates that you're going to transcend a wound, you're going to heal from it, and then you're going to be able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and then move forward strongly. Whenever we see this card, it also indicates study and searching and knowledge. So this could be a wonderful time for you to develop some sort of study or to delve into something that really fascinates you again, especially if it's from the past. When I look at all of these cards, especially that 9 of Wands with Chiron, in the end, it does indicate that there's a wound that you're healing, but the past is going to unlock the way to heal that wound. So now is the second set of cards we have. So for those of you who picked the owl today, your first card is where it's best to place your focus at this time. And you got the 2 of Swords. And this is always a card of being in between. You see the woman who's in between the sky and the sea. She's in between the new moon and the full moon. And she's in between the 2 swords she's balancing. But she's completely serene. She can't see what's coming up ahead, but she's not freaking out about that. And this is because this woman knows that the in in-between times are where magic is really happening for you. Just like twilight or dawn, when all the animals start to stir or their behaviors start to change and the winds kick up in nature. This card is telling you that this in-between time for you may feel a little bit like you're in limbo, but if you're patient and if you can just stick with this, you are going to find that this is creating the biggest magic for you in your life. So this is going to be where to place your focus. The next card is advice from your inner wisdom, and that's justice. And how appropriate with the Two of Swords. These are both cards of balance. They're also both showing a person who is in a just position. Lady Justice is not blindfolded like the Two of Swords balance lady, and these cards are correlated with each other. But Lady Justice is looking at you with her eyes wide open. She's looking at you very clearly, and she's telling you to tell the truth to yourself at this time. When I couple her with the Two of Swords, it's indicating that it's going to be easiest for you to get out of that state of limbo if you tell the truth to yourself. And if you're just really honest with yourself about what you want, the truth is going to be the quickest path for you to regain your equilibrium and your balance. These are both cards of balance and equilibrium. So it's so important that you're checking in with your body and you're balancing out these different aspects of your life at this time. If something feels out of whack, it's your responsibility to tell the truth to yourself about what needs to be reinforced or what you need to spend more time or energy on. But these are wonderful cards for balance, and especially as we're going into this next week, this could indicate that you're finding your balance again and that you're basically coming to a sense of equilibrium. And your mythic archetype to embody is Heracles, who is the demigod of strength. And this is indicating that there are like 12 labors ahead of you. There's a lot of challenges, but you do have the strength and wherewithal to get through these challenges. This is also a card of honing yourself and your skills and being really self-disciplined. And with the Justice card, it could indicate that you are being more honest with yourself about parts of your life that feel out of control or unruly that you need to take ownership of and get control over. So what you really want to embody mythically this next week is a sense of strength and stability. And then finally we have our last animal, which was the dolphin. So for those of you who picked the dolphin, your first card, which is where to place your focus at this time, is the Two of Cups. And that's a card of relationships. So this is going to be a time to work on collaborating with others, working on your relationships, and also being really careful in your communication with other people. And you see above the Two of Cups figures that there's this floating lion head, which symbolizes ego. So it could indicate that ego is something that can get triggered pretty easily at this time. So when you're negotiating with others, you want to allow them to leave the table with their dignity intact. This is always a good card for cooperation and collaboration, and so where you should put your focus on is cooperating with others. The next card is advice from your inner wisdom, and that's the Six of Swords. And this is a card of moving on. You can see that the people that are leaving the rough waters behind and going towards the smooth waters are heading towards that opposite shore where there's a safe harbor. And whenever this card comes up, it's telling you to cooperate with your changes. And much like the dolphin, just ride the waves towards what's going to be best for you at this time. This is always a card of moving, travel, or changing the energy. And so that which was stuck before is now moving forward. And it's time to just go with the flow and surrender to where your life is changing. Follow the momentum and follow the current. And then the mythic archetype you need to embody the most is the goddess Artemis. And she's the goddess of nature. She's the goddess of wild places. And she's a virgin goddess. So this can sometimes indicate a need to escape or to get away from others and to really reconnect with what's deepest within you at this time. Artemis is also associated with the moon, so this could be a time to listen to your instincts. But always when we see Artemis, she tells you to tap into your wild side, to tap into the part of you that can never be tamed and is never going to conform to societal pressures or what other people are trying to impose upon you. Right now, it's time to be a free spirit and follow your own instincts. So I hope you enjoyed today's oracle, and if you did, I invite you to go to elliotoracle.com and schedule a reading with me. These little oracles are wonderful, but they're nothing compared to a full reading that really goes into all of your concerns and cares. So I invite you to go over to elliotoracle.com, and if you did enjoy this video, share it with a friend. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll talk to you later.